Hello friends, welcome once again to Andy Tech Cyber channel. If you're new to the channel, kindly hit the subscribe button for me, like and then share the video. So the last time I uploaded the video, I made a video about the document you have to prepare for when you're ready for the US F1 visa interview. So I went through a couple of them. If you've not watched the video, I would advise you do that before you watch this video. Now, I'm going to talk about an important topic in this video, and that is thinking about or planning on where to apply for your US F1 student visa interview, right? So that's what I'm going to talk about. Now, once you're ready to apply for your visa interview, and then you've been able to prepare all the documents I've mentioned in the previous video. Now, the most important thing you have to plan or decide on afterwards is where you want to go for your interview. Now, I'm saying this because personally I have a personal experience. I'm going to talk about that, what happened to me when I was ready for my US interview. Sometimes when you're ready for your visa interview, due to one or two reasons, you'd have to think about transferring your profile from your home country to a different country, which is, I mean, I'm talking about the US embassy, transferring your profile from the US embassy in your home country to a different country, for date availability reasons. Now, let me quickly go through my experience. So, when by God's grace, I got the school, I did everything I was supposed to do. I had my I-20. When after I prepared all my documents and I was ready for the interview, now one thing I had to decide was where to apply for my visa interview. Sorry. So yeah, the default is the first country I would want to think about. I'm a Ghanaian, right? So I would start thinking about applying for my F1 visa interview at the US Embassy in Ghana. So I started the process. Now, at the verge of completing, the profile, I got a hint that at that particular time, that was fall 2022, right? 2 years ago. At that time, there were no dates. And those that had already started, completed their profile, they were able to inform us because they were able to see the date. So I got a tip of that. There are no available dates, and so I would have to think about transferring my profile to a different country. Now, God, through His miraculous ways, brought some people into my life at that time, and then they made me understand that there were chances, for me to transfer my profile to a different country. And the country that came to mind at that time was Abidjan. I mean, Cote d'Ivoire. And so, because I had already started my profile in Ghana, in fact, I had created it, just that I had not paid my F1, I mean, the MRV fee, that's the visa fee. I had to transfer my profile from Ghana to Abidjan. And that's one thing I'm going to talk about in the subsequent minute, right? And so I did that. By God's grace, I got a date at Abidjan. I even had to apply for an emergency date. It got approved. And then, yeah, on the D day, I went for my visa interview, and then God made it possible for me to be here. And so, now coming back to the main topic, it's quite unfortunate. Of course, sometimes you'd wish you'd like do the interview in your home country and not think of traveling to a different country, but date circumstances, it might have you start thinking about a different country. Now, talking about Ghana. So I know for Ghana, some people, some friends around that time, that's way back in 2022, I know some of them traveled to Benin, some of them traveled to Mali, to Abidjan, like I did, Sierra Leone. Some also traveled to Nigeria. So these are some of the countries where I had some people traveling to during that time for their F1 visa interview. Now, I want to generalize this. If you're thinking about something like that, then my advice is before you transfer your profile to a different country, make sure the passport you have enables you to travel to that particular country, and it gives you the chance for you to be able to apply for the US visa interview there in that country. So the main advice I would give is, I remember before I even transferred my profile to Abidjan, I wanted to transfer to Togo. So I had to send an email to the US embassy in Togo, and I explained the situation to them. I asked them whether it's possible for me to do that, and yeah, they told me I could do that before I did it. So what I'm trying to say is, if it's possible, reach out to the US embassy in that particular country you want to transfer your profile to, and let them explain to you whether it's possible for you to do that or not before you do it. So that is it. Now I'm going to talk about how you can transfer your profile from one country to the other. There are three ways. Two are ideal. The third one, you want to do that when, like, the first two, nothing works. So worst case, you take the third route. Now, what's the first thing? So I'm gonna use Ghana and Abidjan for the various as use cases for the various points. Now, the first thing is, let's say you're in Ghana and you want to transfer your profile from Ghana to Cote d'Ivoire. The first thing you want to do is call the US embassy in Ghana. So that's where you first created your profile, right? And you want to do the transfer. Now, personally, all the three steps I'm going to talk about are steps I have personally gone through, right? I've assisted some people and they went through that process and they got their profile transfer. So it's not like something I've not done. I've personally tried these steps and it worked. Now, the first thing, like I said, is calling the US Embassy in Ghana. That's actually, to me, the fastest way you can transfer your profile. If you're able to call them for them to pick up the phone, I remember I had to transfer for a friend, so I called them, and what they do is they will ask you for your details, right? So they asked, and then yeah, the guy had to take over. He spoke with them. They took his email, that's the username, and then his date of birth. Yeah, he provided that information, and there on the phone, in some few minutes, the lady that answered the phone told him the profile has been transferred. So what they do is, once they transfer your profile, then they'll send you a new password. So they told him they've sent him a new password to his email. So he went to check in. Yeah, the transfer was done. So that is one way. Now the second way is sending an email to the support team at the embassy. So that is another easiest way you can do the transfer. So I've also gone through that. So what I'll upload, I will send their email, right? I'll show you the email so that you can try. So especially if you want to transfer from Ghana to Abidjan, you can send an email to the US embassy in Ghana, and yeah, they're quite responsive. Yeah, so they'll send you an email um asking you to, sometimes they'll ask you to provide information like your date of birth. So make sure when you're sending an email, you add your date of birth, your username, which is gonna be your email, and then if possible, just attach your passport. So that's what mostly I do. Attach your passport. And one thing is, make sure you always check your spam, because for some reasons, when the support team responds to any email, it goes to spam. So make sure you check your spam, and then you should get a response. Now the third point is, if you've tried the first one, it's not working, you've tried the second one for a couple of days, you've not gotten a response. Now what you can do is, for the third one, like I said, I wish you do just the first two. If after some days you've not gotten any response, then you want to try this third one. Now the third one, what you want to do is, so you have another email, right? So you create another profile in a different country. For instance, you've already created a profile in Ghana. Right now, you want to transfer to Abidjan, but they are not answering your calls, they are not responding to your email. Now, you can create another email, right, and then start a new profile in a different country where you want to transfer your profile to. Now, the moment you get to the point where you're putting in your personal information like your date of birth, your passport number, and all that, the system automatically detects that your information is already in their system. Then they're gonna ask you, would you want to make a transfer from your previous account to this new account? Right? So that's the other way you'd want to do it. So once you hit yes, they'll ask you to upload your passport and then you submit a request. Now, once you submit a request, they'll send you an email, especially it goes to the spam again sometimes. So they'll send you an email and they will acknowledge that they've done the transfer. So these are three main ways you can transfer your profile from one country to the other. Now, I want to advise it is important to make sure you start your processes early, especially right now if you're targeting for 2025 and you've not gained admission. You want to start now, right? Start applying earlier so that by God's grace, when you get admission at an early stage, you have more time, to prepare for the visa, and that can help you get a date. So thank you very much for watching the video. Kindly hit the subscribe button, like, and then share the video for me. God bless you and I wish you the best. Bye.